Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So, some really unfortunate news. Of course, I'm sure by now everybody has heard on the news already that a student by the name of Christopher Darnell Jones Jr. shot and killed 3 other students of the University of Virginia just this past Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. Now, it seems to me, correct me if I'm wrong, because I could be wrong. I've been wrong in the past, I'll be wrong in the future. But it seemed to me that the news was trying to make this seem like a school shooter incident to the effect of a mass school shooter. But this young man shot 3 targeted individuals. Like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, but it just seemed like the way that this story was first being put out wasn't in the correct way, which is why I wanted to wait until I said my own thoughts on how I felt about it personally. And now that they have done this interview that they did with his father, Christopher Jones Sr., I am glad that I waited. Now, this man came on and, I don't know how he was able to after all of what has happened, but with a lot of bravery and courage, he did come on and he did say that, well, he apologized, which, like I said, it took a lot of strength and a lot of humility to do. He apologized. He didn't make any excuses for what his son did, but he did mention that when his son was younger, he left the home and he hadn't had a whole lot of contact with his son for about 11 years. And he had a very troubled childhood, but it seemed like his son, Jones Jr., made it through for the most part. He somehow managed to defy the odds and he made it through. He had 1 year left, if I'm not mistaken, of college to finish. But one of the last things he told him before this all happened was that he was paranoid, that he was bothered, that he'd been getting picked on and bullied, I'm assuming by somebody at school. And this kind of opened up a whole new can of worms, if you ask me, because now it turns into, did he shoot these 3 young men because they were possibly the ones involved in this? Of course, the questions are going to come up. And I don't think enough people are addressing that. Now, by saying that and bringing that up myself, I'm not justifying these actions. I'm not saying that he had a right to shoot them because of what he was going through. I'm just saying we need to look into this in a deeper way. I'm also saying as a community and our society, we need to do better because there are so many things that went wrong that I feel like led up to this. For one, parents really need to start actually raising their children. I say that for 2 reasons. One, parents really need to teach their children that you're not going to go to school, you're not going to go out into the world and make life harder for other people. That's what you're not going to do. And 2, people need to be more active and present in their children's lives. I get it. Things happen. Relationships, sometimes they fall apart, they don't work. But there is no reason why you should not be in the life of your children. There is no reason, and I'm not victim blaming, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying in general, people need to do better. They need to be in their children's lives. There should be no excuse for parental absenteeism in a child's life because it plays a really big part in trauma and how a child grows up, what they respond to, how they respond. Now, I know another question that's going to come up is, oh, well, if he was being bullied, why didn't he go get help? Which is a very loaded question to ask because we've seen so many examples where people did try to get help. They followed all the instructions that are given when you're being bullied, who to go to, what to say, what channels to go to. They did all of that and they still did not receive help. It's happened too many times before. So please, let's not act like people haven't tried to get help. Children haven't tried to reach out, cry out for help, and they haven't been ignored before. As I said before, if this is the case, that this is a response to him not being able to take the pressure of what he was going through and that's why he did this, I'm not justifying his actions. Although nobody knows what was going through that young man's head, what he was dealing with mentally, emotionally, psychologically before he decided to do what he did. Anyways, I'm going to say this one more time, and I don't care who doesn't like it. And I'm going to say again, I'm not victim blaming. I'm not victim shaming. But this man should have been in his son's life. Like I said, I get it. Life hits hard. Things happen. But this man should have been in his son's life. Because a father in the home is very, very crucial to a child's development. Not just the mother, but the father as well. That's something that I feel like we don't like to admit and we don't like to promote, especially in the Black community. But anyways, what he did as of now in this interview was the best thing in this situation, in this moment that he could have done. Y'all tell me what you think in the comments down below.